All right, I have the honor to facilitate this question session, and because Sean is participating himself, so to avoid a conflict, that's my role now. So very thank you for all your presentations, very interesting. This session was called Integrated Secure Project. I think my main takeaway was that blockchain has a lot of potential for integration in different ways. We heard a lot about collaboration and data integration. I think these were the two most mentioned use cases how blockchain can be used. But one question that came up when listening to you is like, does blockchain become the new integration system? Like, does blockchain become the new tool that we will use, or will it run together with traditional solutions? Because in your talk, for example, you suggest blockchain will be the main new coordination system. Then we heard in Juling's traditional BIM solutions with blockchain-based contract systems. You propose blockchain systems for one specific use case, and you only use Web3 like IPFS and blockchain. And we also heard about different possibilities of integration. So I want to hear your opinion. Will blockchain be the new system in the future, or will we still have the traditional systems and blockchain assist these systems?
Do you want me to start first? Sure. So I think because the company I work for, we're more looking at communication actually, how to use new technology for communication. I mentioned earlier about, I think, what the Web3 will be. We feel that blockchain is still quite heavy. I think there'll be the decentralized, distributed the DLT technology, I think, will be the future. And blockchain is one of the methodology that we share and manage the information, manage the data. And then I think it still takes time, until we fully utilize the technology for the entire, not just construction, but also like banking and other industries. And then blockchain could become, part of the future of innovation. But of course, who knows? Maybe for the next few years there'll be something new, for this data information management.
Thanks. Personally, I think the adoption and implementation of blockchain is not just about technology, it's about philosophy from centralized to decentralized. So it will, personally, I think blockchain, it shifts power imbalance to distribution to transparency, which is power equality. I think it is very, very hard to say the blockchain is going to be the most important technology in the future, because it's very hard to change people's mind and thinkings and philosophies. Maybe in some areas, such as social media, we can apply the decentralized philosophy, but in some area, because in our research, we interviewed with many industry practitioners about the blockchain technology, and they think, yeah, it's a good technology. So are you going to use the technology in your following projects? No. Why? They say, why bother? So actually, I have the same question is, how can we transfer the theoretical benefits of blockchain into practical advantages? Actually, currently, maybe in mainland China, both scholars and managers have not found the right way, maybe.
Well, to answer both questions, or to try, I think that part of the answer is already in Sean's presentation, because he presented two scenarios, one for mainland China and one for the rest of the world. So inevitably, even if there is one technology, there are at least two systems, given the realities of local countries and areas, which also matches, I think, what you are describing. To change the mentality, to change the mindset, we can only start, in my opinion, from academia. Because, of course, we are not going to change the approach in a short time of a big company, for example, that in China is building, I don't know, CHR trains. As I said, we have always been doing this way. Why should we change? It worked so far over the last 30 years. Now you come with your solution. Why should it be better? And to prove it, it's very, very complicated. So to have an impact, start from academia, change the mindset of new generations, so show them how it can work. And then over time, it will take over if there is mostly, let's say, a large base, like sort of a bottom-up approach. If it is top-down, it's not going to work, of course. And there will be always multiple competitors, like in, I don't know, for mobile phones. We don't have only Apple. We have Xiaomi, we have Huawei, Oppo, and so on and so forth, and Samsung. So the technology is one, but then it gets derived into different ways, you know. So this also to address the initial question. I don't think blockchain will take over everything. Part of it, yes, probably some of the financial implications. There are questions about how the banks are going to react, but somehow they are adapting towards it. And even if you look into China now with the digital yuan, already looks like a little shift from a purely centralized control, which we would expect indeed. So I think it's a multi-dimensional problem. So it's not just 1 or 0. It's not that binary.
Thank you. You have something to add?
Yes, and I will be shortly. And like I think for the blockchain system, it have the features like the traceability. It can improve the cybersecurity for now. And so because it's features, its advantage, we will use it for our work, and which will make our work more friendly, more secure. And I think that is the reason why we use it. Because it will have some other technologies will be helpful for our work. So if we want to do better, we must need to learn what is new and what will be helpful.
So we have 2.5 minutes left for some questions from the audience. There is also a question online. How to define single source of truth in BIM and blockchain? Any real showcase example? Maybe very brief, and then we take one question from the audience.
Yeah, sure. I think my experience of single source truth is kind of always related to the common data environment, this kind of concept. But when we're looking at single source truth with blockchain, we need to look at a few different directions. I mean, one is using blockchain, the immutability parts, to how to store the information, and then additionally, when we're looking at supply chain, and I mentioned earlier about the BIM library concept, when you're integrating the ESG information, do we need to have a place to actually have this trust information to be stored and shared among all parties through the project life cycles? And then I think that's quite important. And then the blockchain actually plays quite crucial roles in that part. And then additionally, it's not just about the construction period or stage data, it's about the DID, right, of all the workers or engineers or professionals who are working on the site. How do you trust their credential, their background, the experience, and then extend it to all the supplier and then subcontractor and main contractors' credential and informations. So we need a place, actually, a DID kind of system for that and to verify. And then that kind of combines with the single source of truth to share the trustful information among all parties.
Thank you.
So I have actually 2 questions. So I'll just start with the first question that is regarding e-tendering. So I just wanted to know, like, given there are different procurement methods and there are for procuring tenders in the construction industry, and which involves pre-bid meeting and lots of negotiations. So, I mean, do you think specific to construction sector, the industry is like how far ready to accept, blockchain-based tendering system? So that is my first question. And second question is on information channels. So there are separate channels for stakeholder management, supply chain management, right? So, I mean, is there a way to, across channels, how the data is shared?
Okay, and for the tender negotiation part, we mainly think that we mainly decide this part be a part of the e-tendering system because the law and like the UK law, the law of the Hong Kong, they decided to make every paperwork, every document should be include the final contract. And so negotiation will have multiple data exchange. This will be more helpful. This kind of information should be contained with the blockchain, and this will make the whole framework is available. And for the second picture, second question, we already finished some part based on the Hyperledger fabric to link the different multiple blockchains to one peer and make the information can be connected to different channels. And so the data segregation can be realized based on this. So I think for the blockchain part, when we explore it and we do some much things, it will show more available part and more bright future or something. And that's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Has anyone the urge to add something? Otherwise, we need to wrap up and go for lunch. All right, I just see there is no more comments allowed, so we wrap it up here. Thank you very much for all your presentations and your insights. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you so much.